Let's create an amortization schedule using Excel. An amortization schedule is a chart that shows how much of each loan payment is allocated to interest and how much to principal. It's used to calculate the loan balance or payoff or report interest expense for a period. Now I've already set up this spreadsheet with several labels and a few numbers. And to get started, we're going to start in cell B5. We're going to click in cell B5 to make it the active cell so that we can use the payment, create the payment function here. Now, to begin, Excel has over 200 built-in functions. And each function has a specific keyword that is used as part of its syntax. And following the keyword is an open parentheses and then the arguments separated with commas. Some of the functions only require one argument, and some require as many as 5 arguments. The payment function requires 3 arguments. So we'll begin, and they have to be in the order that the function is defined. So in this particular case, in B5, we're going to type in equal PMT, open parentheses, and this is now ready for us to go to the rate. So I'm going to hit the up arrow key 3 times to point to the annual interest rate of 8%. And since we're trying to calculate a monthly payment, I'm going to divide this by 12. I'm going to hit comma, and now we're going to look for the term. I'm going to hit the up arrow key twice to point to 30 years. And again, since we're looking for a monthly payment, I'm going to multiply 30 years by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And then I'm going to hit the comma, and now we're looking to feed it the principal, which is the final argument for the payment function. Now, Excel calculates cash outflows as negative numbers. For this reason, we'd rather it be positive, so we're going to put a minus sign in front to change the sign. Then I'm going to hit the up arrow key to point to cell B1 to point to the loan amount there at $100,000. And then I'm going to close the parentheses. Now, you just as well could have typed in this payment function. It would work the same way. So the payment now would be $733.76. The next thing we need to do is move to cell D8, so I'm going to click there to make that the active cell, and we want the balance before the first payment to be equal to the loan amount. So I'm going to type in equal, I'm going to point to cell B1 and click there. You could have just typed in equal B1, and then I'm going to press enter. So now whatever loan amount we have typed in to cell B1 will automatically appear as the beginning part of the amortization schedule for the beginning balance. For example, if we had a $75,000 loan, when I press enter, notice the balance changes to $75,000. Now the interest rate here is 8%. Since rates have been a little low recently, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 5%. So our payment will be $536.82. Notice how it instantly recalculates. Now the first thing we want to do is calculate the interest for the first payment. So we'll type equal. And this isn't going to be a function, built-in function. We're just going to create our own formula for interest. The way you calculate the interest for a payment is you simply take the annual interest rate divided by 12 times the balance. So let me hit the up arrow key to point to B2. I'm going to divide it by 12 and multiply it by D8, which is the balance before this payment. I'm going to go ahead and press enter here. And you need to watch the video on absolute versus relative cell addresses to learn about these dollar signs. And then finally, our principal, we're simply going to take the monthly payment in B5 and subtract the interest. The difference between the monthly payment and the interest is the amount that actually goes to pay off the loan, which is principal amount. And then after we calculate the principal amount, we need to subtract the balance. So I'm going to hit equal, arrow up to point to the previous balance, minus, arrow left to point to the principal for this payment. And when I press enter, the balance now after the first payment is only $99,879 because we paid off $120.15 of this loan. Next thing I need to do is to bring those numbers down a little bit further on the payment. And I also need to use the fat cross to select the range B9 to D9 and use the thin cross to copy those formulas down. And then the next thing I'm going to do is highlight all the range from A9 to D11 so that I can get the payment number included as well. And then take the thin cross and we're going to drag this all the way down, all the way to 360. Actually, it'll be row 368 because we started on row 9. So let me get down to what we want is 360 payments. And that right there, row 368 is the magic number because that's payment number 360. Now notice this 0 is very important because this tells us that we have accurately calculated all the numbers in the spreadsheet, because your balance should be 0 after you pay 360 payments on a 30-year mortgage. Now, with this completed, we're finished. Basically, at this point, we could go to the loan amount and punch in anything we wanted. Let's say we wanted to buy a car and we wanted to borrow $17,500. And let's assume that our interest rate was at 3%. And let's say they're not going to let us go 30 years on a car, so let's say that we're going to go 5 years. So our payment would be $314, and that's going to be 60 payments. It should be 0. Let's go down to 60. Yep, it's got a 0 balance. So as you can see, that's our amortization schedule.